Hey everybody, welcome to episode 7 of 13, Dynamic Communication in our Leadership Development Series. Thank you for joining me. I'm Francis Williams of Francis Williams Coaching, and I'm going to give you an overview of the lesson today. I'm going to be reading you some things directly because there's a lot of content that I want you to get the most out of so that you can take advantage of that for yourself and get the results that you're looking for directly. We're going to talk about energy levels. I'm going to read you something about that, how communication isn't just something that you say and do, how it's something that affects you emotionally, and then what are we doing with those emotions. We're going to talk about communicating on different levels. For example, how do you communicate in a group or between you and somebody else with a couple of people? What's your overall level of communication? What is your core message in general? Not what is your core message like, oh, I have this meeting to go to and I have a core message. No, what is a core message about you? We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about your ideal self as a dynamic communicator. Then we're going to go into listening. There's 3 levels of listening: subjective, objective, and intuitive. We're going to talk about what they are, how you might be doing or not doing those, what the advantages or disadvantages of those can be. We'll get into a little bit about public speaking and about presenting, because a lot of people have trepidation and angst about, oh, I don't want to speak. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm so embarrassed. I'm not talking to people, or whatever it happens to be. And then we're going to talk about the impact of your message and give you like a statistical breakdown of how do your messages get received in general, like percentage-wise. And so you might think it's what you're saying that is what's being perceived, but it's not only what you're saying, but how you're saying it. So when we look out in general to the world and business and family, we'll see a lot of different kinds of communication. For example, like a senior executive doing a keynote speak or a supervisor giving a performance appraisal. We might look at a spouse or couple and see how they communicate when they want to tell each other something important. So, like I said before, when you're communicating, it's not only what you're seeing and hearing, it's also what you're feeling. So your energy might shift when you hear something, because you're going to think something, which will create an emotion, and then you'll either act or not act depending on your energy level and depending on how important it is to you and what boundaries you've set, that kind of thing. So you might be all, oh, I'm inspired to take action. I just heard something great. Like this video might help you. Or you might say, I'm deflated and now I'm going to retreat. I can't do that. I can't do all that dynamic communicating stuff. I'm too shy. I'm an introvert. Whatever reason or excuse you can come up with, depending on where you're at, you'll have an emotion regarding what your communication is. And now you can start to gauge those emotions and say, okay, where am I going? So you can have a conversation at one energy level and be like, wow, I was really disempowered in that conversation. Or you can be empowered yourself through any conversation. That's where we're going. So let's give you an example of a scenario, and this is just a fictitious scenario in our workbook, and it's our workbook now because I'm sharing it with you. So your your business partner is in direct communication with several employees in your company. You feel his style of communication is very poor and the effect on those employees is negative. You feel you must confront him, but you're concerned about how he'll react to your comments. So think about how you would respond to hearing, okay, my partner's communicating with employees, his style is poor, that's my opinion of it, his effect on the employees is negative, and I have to confront him. So how am I going to approach him? So write what you would do as yourself today, and then I'm going to give you some questions, and then I'm going to look at how different energy levels may or may not approach that so you can see where you fall. So take your time, either pause the video, come back and watch the video again, write that down, and we'll continue. Make sure you write down like the tone of your voice, the language that you would use with him. Like, are you yelling at him? Are you saying, you're a stupid idiot? Or are you being like all nice and walking on eggshells? Write it all down so that you get a clear picture of how you would handle that. So what we want to do now is we want to assess what energy level you think that is for yourself. So if you're angry, you would say, okay, that's level 2, that's anger. If you're afraid and you're timid, like, I don't know if I should approach him, that's level 1, that's fear. If you are being forgiving, you might say, well, I'm going to help this guy out, but what am I going to get out of it? It's almost like I want to win and I want to cope with this. So if I'm going to cope with it, I might as well get something out of it. Are you being compassionate? Are you seeing that person in yourself, walking in their shoes? Level 5 would be, are you peaceful? Are you seeing a win and an opportunity to find a win for yourself and for him? Level 6 would be, we're both winning. So it doesn't matter what's happening. We're always winning, whether I think he's being a certain way or not. It doesn't matter. I'm winning, he's winning, we're all winning as a group. And then level 7 would be, it doesn't matter who's winning or losing. What are we creating? What are we going to create today? What are we going to create tomorrow? So briefly, that's how the energy levels look. And I'll give you some more specifics. So a thought that you might have at level 1 is like, why is he doing this to me? Why doesn't he just care about what he's doing? And then words you might go up to him and say are none, because you're at level 1. So at this level of energy, the typical reaction would be to ignore him and hope it goes away. Level 2 would be anger. Okay, he's incompetent. I can't believe he just doesn't get it. I'm really pissed off about this and shouldn't have to deal with him or with this or whatever. So the words you can say are, what are you thinking about? You're upsetting everyone, and I don't have time to fix this myself. You better find a way to fix this now. That's level 2. All right, so those 2 are catabolic. They're destructive, as we learned previously. Now we're going to look at level 3 through 7, which is anabolic. So level 3, you might think, there's got to be a way to resolve this without too much pain. And here's where it gets funny, because how can I play with his ego and make him do what I want? Because remember, you're still coping. You're not at your highest level of anabolic creative activity, so you're not necessarily thinking, hey, let's all win. You're just thinking, how can I get him to do what I want so this looks better? And then words you might say is, I'm wondering how you might get your point across to the employees in a way that will get what you want without dealing with too much grief. And then you might ask him, what do you suggest? So you're trying to figure out where he's coming from so you can cope with what he's coming from, and then you can deal with what's next. So level 4 is compassion. Specifically, your thoughts might be, I feel bad for our employees. They need to feel safe. Also, I care about my partner and I don't want to upset him. So you're being compassionate with everybody. And your words might be to him, the partner, we have a problem and I consider myself responsible because I haven't addressed this up until now. I know you well. You mean the best for this company and for our people, but they may not hear you clearly all the time. How can we make them happier so they'd feel secure? And how can we honor their rules and responsibilities? So that's compassion. So we're still moving up the scale. There's still more anabolic to go. That's a pretty good solution for what you're doing right now, level 4, being compassionate and working together. You're starting to get some agreement. You're starting to make sure that he wins at this point instead of you win or he loses or the employees lose. So level 5, which would be peace, which again, you could think of this as win-win. Those are the activities you're going for. I win, you win. Thoughts could be, up until now, we've done okay. And even with poor communication, I can't imagine where we'll go once we take this to the next level. So you're already seeing opportunity and you're already saying, you know what? No big deal. Let's keep moving in a positive direction and let's see where we can really go when we, take the brakes off. Words you might use to approach him are, I think we have a great opportunity to better connect with our employees so that everyone wins. Let's brainstorm some of what we might do to work better as a team so everyone, including us, profits. So that's level 5. Moving on to level 6, which is joy. And a thought process might be, no matter what happens, everybody's winning all the time. So level 6 and level 7 may or may not seem unrelatable to you. So you might not be able to relate to these because you might think, yeah, that's too wishy-washy or that's too convenient, but you don't have to say or aspire to be a level 6 or level 7 if you don't think that that's something that speaks to you. Also, if you do think it speaks to you, pay attention and see if you resonate with level 6, which is joy, and level 7, which is creation. So level 6, what we feel within, we project onto others. Our words are a representation of who we are. So this situation is a great exercise in self-awareness, meaning I'm projecting to him, he's speaking in a way that the employees aren't comfortable. So maybe it's me, and if I work on me and work on him and work on them, because we're all winning anyway, then we keep winning. So words that you might use at level 6 is, I'm enjoying watching the dynamic between you and others, meaning the other employees. I'm learning a lot about us all in the process. I see myself in your shoes and in their shoes as well. And how are we experiencing this? So you're basically looking at this like everybody's responsible, everybody's moving ahead, everybody's synergistic, and everybody is feeling that good, positive, anabolic energy. And if they're not, you can be the catalyst that starts that energy, and then you can inspire them as a leader consciously so that you can help them shift their energy. Not that you're pushing on them like, hey, you're a level 2 and you suck because you're angry all the time. You could just say, okay, I hear you. And if you have anything to say, let me know because I'm ready to listen, and then I'm ready to win with you. Like if you want to go to level 5 or level 6, you would say, let me know what you want to say, and let's get to the bottom of what's the issue here, and let's work together so we can both win. So let's go to level 7, that's creation. And thoughts that you might have are, we create all we want each moment and it's all perfect. And words that you might say to him is, where are we now? And what would you like to create tomorrow? So basically, you're not making any judgments. You're not saying anything's right or wrong, because remember, right and wrong are illusions. Time is an illusion. Winning and losing are an illusion. When you're at level 7, you're sheer creativity. So all those constructs we create as humans are typically illusions to keep us limited. The problem with level 7 is that when you spend too much time there, it's very energy depleting, because it takes a lot to be creative constantly, all the time. Go, 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 go. Imagine a singer who tours all the time and never stops touring because they're always creating, they die. They wouldn't just burn out, they would die. So so you basically go through your energy levels through the day, like we talked about in previous lessons, so that you can get the best out of your productivity and others around you at all times. So now we're going to talk about communication on different levels. One thing we're going to talk about is the group or couple interactive level of communication. So what I'd like you to do is, in your notebook, and I'll show you a picture of what I have in this workbook, is I'd like you to make 4 columns like on this page, and I'll tell you what to put along the top. And you can zoom in, you can pause this video and zoom in. I'll tell you what to put on the side. It's fairly generic, and it's that reason so that you can customize it to yourself. The reason I'm not providing slides or photos is because this isn't a course that you're paying for. This is a free course that I hope that you're getting a lot out of. So instead of me doing all this fancy schmancy PowerPoint stuff and then saying, oh, I'm going to charge people money because I spent all my time, I'm taking material that's already provided so that you have the best of both worlds and you can create your own material so that you can win on your terms. So in the top left, so up here, you're going to write personnel/team member. Next to that, you're going to write energy level that you bring. So you want to write, who are the people that I'm working with in a group? What's my energy level? What's their energy level? And what would I like to change about myself and the way that the group interacts with me? So things you can think of when you're looking at your energy level and their energy level are your thoughts, beliefs, emotions, and behaviors. And remember, your thoughts will create your emotions, which will create your actions in this construct. So on the left-hand side, you can write, for example, if you were an employer or you're an employee, you can write direct reports. Who do you report to, or who reports to you? And then you can write stakeholders. For example, I own a business, I have stakeholders, your peers, they could be your coworkers, they could be your C-level executives, they could be your family, but we have family over here and friends, so that's not really appropriate for peers. Peers are just your equals on your terms, right? So who are your partners? Those could be business partners. Those could be partners that you have that you're doing maybe multiple businesses with, depending on who you are and what you're up to. Who are your clients and customers? Who are your family, friends, associates? And then I wrote other because, and sorry I didn't have that on the screen right now, but when I wrote other, that's so you can fill in the blank. All this is fill-inable by you. So what are we looking at? We're looking at who, we're looking at our energy in our communication, we're looking at their energy, or what we think it is. Like if somebody's angry all the time, you can easily say, okay, that client is a level 2. They're always angry. They always come and asking for something. They're always yelling at me. They're always ready to get on my case. Or you could say, this is the sweetest person in the world. They always want to see me win. They're a level 5. Or they're compassionate. So what's going on with that? So write down those different things. And most importantly, write what you want to change about yourself in your interaction with those people. So you can make it like on a scale of 1 to 10. I'm a 1. I'm totally not workable, or not able to work with this person or get along with this person. So therefore, I want to be a 5, or I want to be a 2. I want to move up just a little bit and then a little bit. Typically with coaching, we move it a step at a time as opposed to going from 1 to 10 because the gaps are so big when you try to jump from something so reluctant and then to so willing that you might miss things in between that are all part of the learning process, which is part of life, which is awesome. So we're going to look at your overall communication level. So as a leader who communicates dynamically, you want to always be aware of your energy. You have the choice to move it up. You can assess your audience's energy, and you can match your message to your audience so that they'll get you where they are. So if they're angry and you're like, they're level 2 and you're level 5, one thing that I'll take a quick moment to explain is that if you're at level 2, and when we saw the energetic self-perception chart where level 1 is at the bottom, if you're at level 2, and you're stuck there and you can only see anger, you won't see anything like creation or joy or peace. And if you're at level 5, you can see everything below that level. So you can move in and out of the levels being aware of the level that you're at. So join me in the next part of this video of dynamic communication. I'll see you soon.